Hi Leo, welcome to your deep career read for the end of June into July. Remember, the energy doesn't know the difference from one week to the next, but I'm separating out the love and the career because there's a lot going on. So I thought that'd be better. So this is going to be, normally I say Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, right? Well, for career, it's more, let's go Leo, 10th house, ascendant, rising sign, then 6th house, then sun sign, then moon sign. I know that's confusing. So when we're talking about career, guys, we want to know our house placements, right? Our 10th house placement is super important. That is the area that where our soul is supposed to be in this life. Then that second house is what track within that career are we actually going to be making our money in. 6th house is, and you want to look at the sign of the 6th house, that's going to indicate what our everyday day-to-day work environment should be like for our soul. If we're in a space where an entrepreneur, we need to also pay attention to our 5th house or 8th house and our 11th house. And I know that's a lot and it's confusing, but I hope that can indicate to you why I always say we are more than just our sun sign. We are so much more. Our sun sign is one room in our house of self. And it's just been exploited, right? In like the newspaper and the magazines, with your sun sign, right? I mean, your rising sun really is arguably the most important. But whatever version of Leo you are, hang out, see if you resonate with it, and if not, definitely run one of those free birth chart calculators, and get your placements. Get your placements. Okay, let's get into this now. We have bear, we have man, number 2, that's Mars, strength, woo, and get that for you guys, Leo, awesome sauce, right? Really good stuff here. Communication is coming in. It's not coming in yet, it's coming in slowly. It's coming in via either, metaphorically, snail mail, so it's not coming in yet, but there is some sort of message that's going to be coming in, Leo, that is really going to be a driving element in what you're going to be doing moving forward. This man here, now this is the Lenormand deck. This is not regular tarot. So the cards speak to each other. We can't look at any one in isolation. We have to look at how they speak to each other. So you see how the bear is looking at the man. And then do you see how the man is looking at the letter? Can you see that? It's important to understand that. Because the bear indicates, again, strength. The man, if you see the Mars symbol on his chest, is all about a fresh path and being like a real go-getter and feeling very confident about taking on this new path. But this new path is going to come in, the opportunity is going to come in via this form of communication. So Leo, this month it's going to be for you guys. You're going to be in this space of like, when it comes to your career, I feel like in general, not only with your career, like who's got your back, Leo, because this sun is retrograde. Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto can make you rethink what you're doing and where you're doing it and how you're doing your career. Do you need to delegate more? Do you need to take on greater responsibility or leadership? Because Mercury, it's all about communication. Mercury is going to be, retrograde yesterday into today. Depends on where you live. 17th, 18th, into, I'm going to safely say, the end of July by the time it's out of shadow, which can end up messing with your technology, not going to lie, but communication in general. So just make sure you back up your stuff. Also, Leo, what I'm getting for you guys, make sure nobody is sending out sensitive info on like a group chat by mistake. Just be careful of that. But by the end of the month, we have Mars blasting into your 9th house from June 27th all the way to that first week of January. I think it's around January 6th, 7th. I think it's January 6th. And, any money stress that's been bugging you for the last couple of weeks is finally going to lift. And soon you're going to be in the mood to create and or put into motion some sort of new project that you've been working on. Either in the 3D or planning it out in your mind, right? Any project with the intention of having or creating an impact of change that really helps people's lives be more efficient or meaningful in some way is really going to have the most benefic results. So really cool stuff. I mean, just, giving a little couple of words from the sky, what's going on there. Let's just deal with the energy. Visions of life beyond death. Okay. Yeah, Leo, I like this. I mean, here, look, this is about you wondering about your life path, or whether you should take action on a particular project, or you might be feeling like you need inspiration to really like move out of a slump that you may have fallen into. And this energy brings you the message of hope that you're going to receive the vision, you know, that you need, and you're going to be graced with a way to find your way out of whatever sort of stagnancy you feel yourself in. You're going to be able to see things differently and move more accurately. And any confusion or uncertainty that you may have been feeling is going to pass, and you're going to be left with a much clearer insight. And this, any stories that you've been feeling or feeding yourself or telling yourself may end up looking very different than how they appear now. And this is going to kind of surprise you, but the visions that are going to be coming to you are a lot more truthful, and therefore they're going to be freeing. So this really kind of comes, this energy is more of like, how do I say it? It's more of like an epiphany kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like these epiphanies are going to be coming at you, which is really great. So good stuff. I feel like very big, like deep, profound stuff going on here. It's like strength with the visions of beyond death. That's a really beautiful energy to get. Let's see what we have here for your astral card. Scorpio, it's all about transformation. Transformation is going to be happening here, my friends. Absolutely. Let's throw the astral dice, and then we're going to pull a Celtic cross spread for you guys. We have Pisces, second house. We have the South Node. So the South Node is always about needing to release something that's not serving you. Now, for those of you who know your chart, this is probably going to mean for you, this will mean for you, that there's going to be some sort of release having to do with your South Node. Now, let's look at what the transiting South Node is happening, what's happening in the transiting South Node right now. Right now, we have the transiting South Node in Sagittarius, which is our belief system. Sagittarius is the natural landlord of that 9th house of belief systems. So, depending on, if you don't know where you have Sagittarius in your chart, that's okay, guys, for now. This is going to be you needing to sacrifice, release something having to do with your belief system regarding your career right now, regarding of a way that you've been thinking, or releasing, you're recognizing it's not serving you. It's not serving you. And then we have the second house here. So this tells me that you were born with a special gift that you're not fully exploiting. You want to think about the times that you felt most in the flow when you were working. You know what I mean by that, right? Where you feel like, yeah, everything is lining up. This is beautiful. It's synchronistic. I feel at home in this, right? Really tap into that. What were you doing? Do more of that, right? Really getting in touch with yourself, guys, right? I mean, you guys are the landlord of the 5th house, the 5th house of fun. Right? You guys are the 5th house of fun. You guys are ruled by the sun. So you have to do stuff that you have to do a career, Leo, that you enjoy. If you don't, it's going to have all kinds of weird adverse effects on you physically, emotionally. You have to do what you feel passionately about. That's why there's a very heavy connection for you between what you love to do and what you end up doing. There's a very, very deep connection there. There really, really is. That's why Leo energies, they make very good entrepreneurs, right? Because that's the first house I look at when I'm doing a chart for an entrepreneur. Yeah, 5th house, 8th house, 11th house. Yep, in that order. And then we have Pisces. Yeah, listen. It's time for you to check out in order to check in. And that's like exactly what I'm feeling here with this visions of life beyond death. Like you really need to go deep right now. It's just very, very necessary. I am feeling for you for sure. So it's time for you to check out in order to check in. And it's time to feel instead of figure out. This is not a time to try to get over any sort of disappointment in your career or get over just trying to change something. You really need to move alongside any emotions that you're feeling about your career. If you are working, if you lost your job, if you're working differently, if there's been a big change, even if it's been really benefic for you, you need to process the change and make sure you're processing the change. This is really important that you're processing the change right now. I'm recognizing where you might need to release something that's not totally serving you. You know, but from an astrology standpoint, I see you guys rethinking just like in general, what are you doing? Where are you doing it? Who are the people you're doing it with? You know, who has your back? Who really cares? Who really cares about you, Leo? You know what I mean? Having to do with that. You guys are such powerful leaders. You're not afraid to take in charge. Very dynamic personalities. You guys know that. Contagious enthusiasm. Very creative and playful. So you guys make like great personal trainers, business coaches, fashion designers, production assistants, theater managers, clinical educators, anything like that. City managers, banquet and event planners, anything, absolutely anything to do in entertainment. Yeah. But especially the planning side. I mean, you guys make good entertainers, but especially the planning, stagehand, behind the scene kind of thing. Special effects, anything like that. It's good Leo energy. Yeah, so, yeah, I feel like, you're making your money. Oh, I'm sorry, this is supposed to go up there. I feel like you're making your money, but, you're feeling a little disappointed, a little disillusioned. Fear. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of thinking. But listen, I just want to let you know, I'm doing this for the end of June into July, right? But you have that Mars in there until January 6th. So you have a lot of changes coming in the end of June, specifically around like June 27th-ish, give or take. I mean, it's hitting on the 27th, and it's going all the way through until January 6th. So I see a seed of something starting now, and for many of you, it could be the idea or the connection, right? But this correspondence, this communication is not going to be happening yet, right? Because it's indicated in, if it was birds, if it was the Lenormand birds, I'd say it's coming in a text message, but because it's a regular, it's the handwritten letter in the Lenormand, this means it's going to be coming in, but it's going to be coming in slow, and there's going to be a rolling out. There's going to be a rolling out of an idea, which, you know what, why not? I mean, that's really nice, because this is going to be going through till then. We have the King of Pentacles coming into this energy. So again, yeah, I mean, I do feel like for the most part, you guys are having, your money's coming in, all right? Aries and Taurus, good stuff. Taurus is a pentacle energy ruled by Venus. Aries is ruled by Mars, fresh perspective. All of this. We like the King of Pentacles energy because the King of Pentacles energy understands the value of money, in that Leos love things. You love things. Nothing wrong with that. I always laugh because I have so many Leos in my life, and both my sisters are Leo, and I'm like, you would much rather like a diamond ring over a refrigerator, even if your refrigerator broke, like joking around. Obviously, it depends on what else you have in your chart, guys. You need to understand that. That's just the basic archetype. But I feel like you guys are good as far as, and I'm not saying you're rolling, but you were coming into this energy, you were in something where you were making money. You were making enough money to provide for yourself in the past. Right now, you're the Knight of Pentacles, so there's been a degradation here, right? You went from the King, now you're down to a Knight, so this is telling me that you don't have the same money that you did have, and you're starting to feel the sense of restlessness. You could even be, for some of you, it could be a boredom, but, you got that checklist card out saying, I don't like this, that, and the other thing having to do with this career, Leo, and this is you and Virgo. Leo and Virgo energy is the Knight of Pentacles. So this is you tapping into, really figuring out, is this like dinging my ego a little bit? Do I feel as good as I used to feel in this? Do I like where this is going? I'm not so sure. I'm getting that a lot of you guys are rethinking things. Now, again, I feel like you went from making a certain amount of money and there's been a gradation down. You're not making the same money. If you're still working, you're just not making the same money. Crowning energy is the World. Reverse. Still positive. But this is indicative of really holding very fast to something in the past. So this could either be an idea that you had in the past about your career, a dream, a hope, a reality that was once happening in your career. And there's this point of ego within you where it's like you will not let go of that last little bit. And the thing is, that's all that's required to flip this upside down. So wherever this, because there's a shift going on, there's a clear shift going on, that even if you have money coming in, it's not the same. You could be working, but you're not working the same. It's definitely not the same, because we don't go from a king to a knight without there being a change. And we don't have the Four of Cups energy unless you're either feeling restless, bored, or identifying elements that you're not happy with. And all of that, I feel like, is going to be rooted in some sense of ego that's going on here. And then, but not in a bad way. Do you know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but in a way where it's like you're having a really hard time like letting go of not having something the way that it was. And there is the need to do that. You know, I see you not taking this chance here. The Fool reverses Uranus. Uranus is all about the future, and the Fool is about popping on that new path, you know, uncharted territory, something new, needing to handle something in a new and different way, right? That is the Fool energy. And I feel like you're not going to be really willing to do that. Now, that could be because you don't see a viable option in front of you right now. That could very well be it. In other words, it's very hard to, I feel sort of like you're kind of in between things here, where you're still working, you're not making the same money, you're starting to feel, oh, should I make a shift? Should I make the change? But because there's no other option crystallized, you're having a hard time seeing the other side of something. You really are. You're having a hard time seeing the other side of something, because you're all about, listen, you know, you're a lot of things, Leo, but you're not silly when it comes to this stuff. And we get the Queen of Cups energy here, Gemini and Cancer. So Cancer energy is it's rooted in that fourth house of home. It's safety, it's love, it's feeling rooted and grounded. And you really want to feel rooted and grounded. Whatever Leos are resonating with this, I do feel like you have, you know, very strong other earthy elements within your energies as well. Even though this is a cup energy, and Cancer is a cup energy, just because it is the fourth house of home, which is rooted, you know, and then Gemini in there is about communication. So I feel like you're communicating, you're doing your research. So I do like that, because when we have Gemini, it's the third house of communication. I feel like you're doing your research, and you're doing your research for the purpose of finding out, gathering information, in order to figure out a new way of doing something. So I'll give you a very basic example, because Gemini is the third house of communication, but it's the student. But don't be fooled by that, because Gemini works with Sagittarius. So Geminis make great teachers also, particularly of like workshops and any sort of certification, any sort of putting like videos or webinars together on new approaches to things, okay? So it's very much a Gemini energy. So to give you a basic example, let's say you have a business and you're still in business, it's not shut down, but you're not making what you were making, and you're getting really, really frustrated. And you're having a hard time seeing your way forward in the same exact way. So you're getting into that Queen of Cups energy, and you're saying, you know what? I have to take care of my house, my home, my family, my roots. I want to feel safe. So I'm going to ask Gemini for some help. I'm going to learn a new way of doing something. I'm going to learn a new way of handling my career. I'm going to learn a new approach. I'm going to learn something new that's going to really jack up my ability to make money and keep myself secure in my career. Now, the external energy from you, external, this is not you, is the shadow side reverse. This is equivalent to the devil energy. And the devil energy represents imbalance. It can represent, for many of you, you were dealing with a very greedy individual, somebody who was not very honest, somebody who was very imbalanced in their approach. I'm going to kind of leave it there, because this could be somebody who was just very consumed with themselves, not very thoughtful of what you needed, maybe did not take the whole group into account, kind of thing, and hyper-focused on their own need, if that makes sense. So, you know, we're running into this a lot right now. I was going to say something, but I'm not, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I was going to give a good example of this, but you guys are going to know all the people that I would be talking about, so pretty much. So let me not say that. But this is happening a lot with the Leo energies, actually, this very, very thing, external to Leo, where somebody is just not taking the collective into account, having to do with a business, career, corporation, anything like that. So that level of imbalance is happening externally to you. And you're recognizing this, because you can't mitigate that. You can't mitigate this position in the Celtic cross. You cannot mitigate that. That's somebody else. That's an external energy from you, and you just can't. Okay, so now that many of you are going to resonate with this as being a person. Others of you are going to resonate with it as just being a general energy of imbalance, and everything is just so wacky out there. So that could certainly be because of the COVID situation, right? And there being this incredible sense of imbalance out there, and where you just don't know the answer, right? Like, I mean, I have a lot of friends who work, on Broadway, okay? So in different theaters and stuff. Who knows when Broadway's coming back? I mean, they're saying mid-September. We hope so. Who really knows? God willing, whatever, Spirit bless it and make it possible. But, it's tough, right? That's just a very basic, mundane example. It's not that everybody's necessarily losing their jobs, but because of the imbalance, who really knows what's going to be happening in that area? Same thing with education. I'm very fortunate to still have my position as a professor. I have so many of my colleagues have been released, and it's craziness, and it's all because of that people don't know. So they're cutting and running, right? They don't know. So, like that. Okay. But your fear position, we have the Page of Swords. You're very afraid of dishonesty. You're very afraid of something. Because whenever we have the swords of truth, and whenever we have it reversed, many of you are afraid of not hearing about how a new cycle is going to be rolling out. You understand? Because the page is the young'un of the court, and the page brings news about a new cycle coming in, okay? Now, this could be an actual person delivering this news, or this could be as a general influence, again, because it's a court card, this news coming in, and you're afraid that this new cycle, the news is not going to come in a way that you want it to come in. You may not be hearing about this could be down to reopening in a timely way. This could be you getting hired back or called back. This could be being able to run your business a certain way, whatever it is, right? It's like this information, you're fearing this information not coming in that's leading into this new cycle, okay? And then we have the Eight of Swords as the final outcome of this. Now, the Eight of Swords is a Jupiter and Gemini. So while it looks kind of like, oh, that's terrible, she's surrounded by swords, she's really not. I mean, none of that looks really that tight. She could probably wiggle between those, right? But this is you in this space of just thinking. It's Jupiter and Gemini. How am I going to make myself successful? How am I going to turn this around? How am I going to get into, right? And it's Jupiter in Gemini. So you are communicating. You're communicating with yourself. You're communicating with other people. It could be a frustrating energy, though, where you feel very restricted in the communication. That could be super, just very frustrating is the word I wanted to look for, that for some reason wouldn't come to me. Yeah. Now, in the near future, I have the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So this could indicate a false start, or this can indicate a delay in a new beginning. Now, when I say near future, guys, you have to understand, I'm talking near future, right? Because when I meditate on the cards, I really only meditate. I literally think about the month of June and the beginning of July. So that's really, so I see like there is a new beginning coming in for you, absolutely, but there's a delay in it. Some of you, it may have even been a false start, you know what I mean? Like maybe you started a job and then COVID hit, and then it was like, oh, cool. 2 weeks after I started this job, it's done. You just opened a business, something like that. Yeah, I know this guy, he opened a business, and literally 2 weeks and 2 days after he opened, he had to shut down after putting in so much money. And so it was just, you hear these stories, right? So that's very indicative of that energy for sure. But we have this really kind of throughout, do we not? I mean, it really is about this idea that something is coming in, the change is coming in, it's just not yet. So you really have to stay the course, continue with the planning. Continue with the planning, because there's planning that's going on here. There's this project, there's this intention. And what I like is whatever you're getting into, it's really going to be helping people. And that's where the benefic energies are going to be hanging out. So really nice. So Leo, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful for you guys in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.